Hey guys, welcome to my review of Batgirl issue number 12. In the last issue of Batgirl faced off against a group of vigilantes known as Nightfall, and the leader is Nightfall herself. And, she basically faces off against him, but she gets her butt royally kicked. And she actually gets saved by Detective McKenna, a detective who really doesn't like Batgirl. And she saves her and takes her back to her place. And basically Batgirl does this, following Detective McKenna back to her place in order to get more information out of her, learning about her past, and also learning about her relationship with Nightfall. And in the end of the issue, we saw Batwoman, appearing, and that's where that issue was ended, and that's where this issue picks up. You already see Batwoman in front of this cover, which I would actually like to show you guys, because the same artist that did the cover of issue number 11 does the artwork, or the cover for issue number 12 here. As you can see, it's Batgirl versus Batwoman. The battle against Batwoman, this is a really nice cover. When I first saw this, oh my god, I was like, oh god, this is so awesome. I didn't even see the front cover of issue number 11 yet. I only saw the front cover issue number 12. But let's get a close-up of him. Like I said, the artwork is really nice. It sort of reminds me of an anime sort of like style, I guess. And look at those Batgirl abs and Batwoman abs, or just her armor. But yeah, this is the front cover. And also, I'd like to show you one of my favorite pages in this issue, is how Batwoman makes her entrance. She kicks Detective McKenna in the face, and yeah. And after that, Batgirl and them starts fighting. And I like how they did this here. You can see a gun, Batwoman, and you can see the guns falling down, and you can see like Batgirl's reaction, and Batwoman doing other things. So that's really nice how they did that. I really like that page. It's really really awesome. But yeah, I guess I just showed you how this comic started. So basically, the comic book actually starts off with Batgirl and Detective McKenna still talking, and Batgirl's still trying to get information out of her. But before she can get more information, we already see Batwoman crashing through the window, kicking Detective McKenna in the face, and Batgirl and Batwoman start fighting. Now, the fight is really interesting as the fact that while Batgirl is actually monologuing, she thinks Batwoman really sucks at fighting. She thinks that, oh, she's just an amateur, she can't fight. But then, technically, Batwoman shows her that, no, she's not. She's a pretty good fighter. And she also starts monologuing, saying like, oh my god, Batwoman's doing what I do, she analyzes your movements, plans ahead, and that's how she tries to defeat you. She analyzes you and just watches your movements and other things like that, just so she could kick your ass or defeat you, which is pretty cool in the introduction to Batwoman, because I don't read Batwoman, so seeing her character in this issue was pretty awesome. But other than that, after the fight, they decide to, calm down and decide to work together to take out Nightfall and her group of vigilantes. And that's what they do. They actually head over to Nightfall's location or headquarters, and they take out each and every one of the vigilantes, but Batgirl does it on her own first. She fights off, most of them by herself until, Detective McKenna and Batwoman come along and give her backup. But while she's actually fighting the vigilantes by herself, she does take them out. Given the information that she gets from Detective McKenna, she learns more about them from her, and she uses that information to her advantage to take out the vigilantes, which is really nice and interesting thing. There, which is really great. I actually like how they did that. Which I would have liked if Batgirl did it on her own when she was describing how she was fighting Batwoman. That she analyzes her opponents so she can try to defeat them and learn more about them while they're fighting, which I would have loved to see that, Batgirl doing it on her own, but still it's great to see her teaming up with a detective that really doesn't like her, and yeah. Other than that, after the fight, Batgirl goes on her own to try to save that, carjacker from the last issue, or last two issues. And basically, he's still alive. He still has his leg cut off or amputated, and he's sort of melting in a way. He sort of looks disfigured. Batgirl's really happy to see that he's alive. But before she can try to rescue him, she gets stabbed. And that's how this issue ends. And also, on a side note, we learned that basically Barbara's brother is actually working for Candice Cairness. And also, we also learned that basically a police officer or security guard that works in Arkham Asylum decides to call up Commissioner Gordon, telling him that, your son has escaped from Arkham Asylum in this whole big chaos that started in the Dark Knight issue #1, and telling him that, I don't want to risk your family's safety. I know they could kill me, but yeah, I'm going to tell you that your son's, ran away and he's out there in Gotham City in the open, so just letting you know. That's generally all that happens in this issue. Now, my negative thoughts on this issue. Okay, I thought this issue was okay, but it does have its issues. Number one, just at first, just talking about Dennis calling Commissioner Gordon about his son's escape and running, amok or running around in Gotham City free. Now, this is kind of really sort of, it seems like a plot hole, or it just seems really kind of stupid, because you call Commissioner Gordon after how long? Because you said this, this whole Arkham Asylum breakout started in Dark Knight issue #1. So I'm guessing this happened a few months ago, and you decided to call Commissioner Gordon after maybe a month or a few months after this has happened, and his son's a serial killer. He's been released, and he's running amok in Gotham City, doing you don't know what, and he could be killing somebody as of this moment, or he could be doing something really horrible. You don't know that, and it's just kind of like, okay, so you decided to call him after this long. You didn't decide to call him after it actually started to happen. Like, you found out that it happened. Like, you didn't decide to call him right after issue #1 of Dark Knight and like call him up and say like, hey, your son's released from Arkham Asylum. You should be worried, and you should find out where he is and try to take him out. You don't know what he's going to do next. Why didn't you do that? Because now you're risking the safety of Commissioner Gordon's family earlier on, and now you say, oh, you're my good friend, I don't want to risk your safety. But it seems like it's been going on for a few months. So basically you've been risking his safety for a few months, in my opinion, and it feels kind of stupid. And other than that, like, that's just like idiotic. Like, you were afraid of your own life, and like you say Jim Gordon's your great friend, but you wouldn't put yourself before Commissioner Gordon, but you actually did if this actually happened a few months ago. So this is kind of dumb, in my opinion, and kind of dropped the issue down. Other than that, there's another negative aspect about this issue that I didn't like, was it still seems like Batgirl's an amateur. And honestly, I thought this issue was going to be the issue where Batgirl was going to wake up and get her shit together, because of the fact that Batwoman appears in this comic. Now, let's talk about this for a moment. Now, when Batgirl and Batwoman are actually fighting, she makes Batwoman sound more of a really, really interesting character, or more badass. And the fact that she describes Batwoman like herself, saying like, she's comparing herself to Batwoman, like, oh, she's just like me. Oh, she can fight really well. Because when Batwoman first appeared in this issue, Batgirl thought she was an amateur, but other than that, after fighting her, she realizes that Batwoman's pretty good on her own, and that she's sort of like her. And I'm wondering, like, could this be the moment where, Batgirl has an epiphany, or realizes that, I've got to get my shit together. Batwoman is pretty awesome as a character, as a superhero. I thought she was an amateur, but she's actually pretty good. How come I can't be like that? I used to be like that, and after, being Batgirl for a few months now, I'm still an amateur. I gotta get my stuff together. I gotta be strong. I gotta be the old Batgirl. I gotta be, Barbara Gordon yet again, the awesome one, the one that all the fans love and are hating at this moment, or sort of not liking. Because actually when she goes to save that carjacker, the downside to it is she is an amateur at doing it, because after defeating all the vigilantes, doesn't she realize that, oh, did I forget somebody? Oh, did I forget Nightfall? I remember she was the leader of this group. Yeah, did I totally forget her presence? Because I didn't fight against her, and I don't know where she is. But oh well, I'm not gonna keep my back, open. I'm gonna go save this guy. I'm gonna like not watch my back and whatever, and get ambushed and surprise attacked and get stabbed in the stomach, and that's totally not my fault, because she totally surprised me. It is Batgirl's fault, because seriously, she should have known this. She should have been thinking and being cautious that, okay, Nightfall's still at large. I don't know where she is, so I better watch my back. Because Batwoman and Detective McKenna are off trying to apprehend the other vigilantes. So while I'm off trying to save this carjacker, I should watch my back. If there's a surprise attack, it should be my fault because I wasn't watching my back and I wasn't being cautious. So technically, at this moment, Batgirl was being amateur and still dumbing down her character. I'm like, oh god. Batgirl, Batgirl, Batgirl. Come on. Come on, you're smarter than this. You could have done something. Okay, because when she was actually fighting against Batgirl, and after the fight, she actually carries a batarang behind her back, you know, being cautious, thinking that, okay, maybe Batwoman may snap and try to attack us again, so I'm going to use this batarang on her if she does anything, so I'm going to keep this a secret. So I'm like, how come you couldn't have done that? How come you couldn't have just, like, you know, hit something in your belt and, like, you know, when you heard something behind you, you could have, like, threw a batarang and, like, ha, I knew you were coming for me. I set that trap for you. I'm Batgirl and I'm kick-ass. I'm not the, you know, dumbed-down version anymore. But still, this is what this issue did for me, and I felt really, really, really down, you know, because of that. Other than that, you know, Batwoman's introduction in this issue was pretty kick-ass, and I don't read a lot of Batwoman. I don't know her character a lot, but seeing this issue was really awesome, and I was hoping Batwoman would, you know, basically inspire Batgirl to be a better superhero. Maybe she will in the next issue. Maybe not. Who knows? I just want Batgirl back as she used to be, not so, you know, dumbed down, and I still feel like that. That's just my opinion. I don't know how other people feel, but that's really my opinion, and it really hurts me as a fan of Batgirl. You know, seeing this happen is just really sad. But other than that, it's a really okay issue. I would actually rate it a 3.5 or 3 out of 5 in my opinion. Maybe, yeah, just a 3 out of 5. It's not that bad as the last issue, but still it has its bad moments. And it still has some of its kick-ass moments, but other than that, it's just an okay issue. I hope you guys enjoy and like this review, and, you know, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting me, and hope you guys, you know, like it. And, yeah, thanks for watching, guys, again. So, see you guys.